effective, because most of the time you're scared of your peers, what they will think, what somebody will say, what somebody will point out. That comes as hardness. Like even in Rangila, I remember my mother, when we used to see Singing in the Rain, those kind of films, so she was used to enjoy. A lot of the girls are wearing bikinis and all that, but she just likes the feel. So I told Urmila from the same context. But in those days, if you look at some of these Sarkailo Khatyala kind of song, where the lyrics and the dance moves are designed to kind of make it look vulgar. Maybe for some section of audience, I'm not saying it's wrong or right. But when you feel it's beautiful, it will come across beautiful, and people connect to the emotion. So for example, whatever you saw just now, I would think if she's not wearing clothes like that, the precision of her movements and her control of her body will not be the same if she's wearing track pants or some karate dress, for example. Yeah.
Pooja, have you started getting offers after watching the trailers? Because the trailer is looking really very enlightening, and it shows you in a very powerful role,
I am getting a couple of offers right now, but I'm choosing every script very, very carefully, because I want to do, like in the beginning at least, I want to do action films, and the role should be pivotal. I mean, there should be something strong about that role, that it should inspire people, I feel that. So I'm choosing script very carefully right now, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, I don't ever do that, but I definitely am going to make Ladki 2 for sure. Again, the same companies, all of them together, where all the script work is also done. And the fact, one is I love Bruce Lee, and then I love to see the beautiful body of a woman in front of my camera more than anything else. So in both ways, I think Ladki 2 is on the cards.
Yeah, RGV sir, yeah. The title Ladki is very intriguing. What was it that you chose this title? Because there's no adjective, matlab,
The reason
second question after this, what is it that the Chinese people found fascinating when you sent them the footage to?
See, I will tell two things. I mean, there's two parts to your question. The first part is because in the script there are 3-4 characters. When they first hear about Pooja, like Abhimanyu Singh, Rajpal Yadav, they keep saying, Ladki? Ek ladki ne kya? What are you saying? So the shock that a woman can do what you expect from a man. In fact, there's a very typical scene in the beginning of the film where I did just a role reversal. You've seen hundreds of films where when some goons are teasing a girl and a guy comes to in her defense. I just did the same scene with the role reversal where the guy is being teased and the girl comes to rescue him. So what all you typically think a ladki cannot do, or there's no way it can happen, which is the reason I thought it would be ironically to call ladki. So it's not like ladki, it's ladki. That is how I pronounced it in my mind, and that might not come in the just you see the logo. To answer your second part, see, one part is that why did the Chinese get so excited seeing her, and second part is like it's a shock to us. It's releasing in 40,000 more than 40,000 screens in China on the same day. The nearest I can explain that is when we saw Bruce Lee in India, to see a Chinese face suddenly coming, I think it seemed so exotic because we never saw anything like that. I don't think if Enter the Dragon, with the same martial art technique, maybe a black or an American or someone, I don't know if it will have the same impact. So I think to see an Indian face doing what they are experts. See, martial arts are born in China. Bruce Lee came from there, Jackie Chan, all of them, Donnie Yen, at least 4 to 5 of the top martial artists, they came from China. So I think they find it very exotic to see Indian face doing. I mean, they feel that even if you search on Google, if you go to the many famous female martial artist films which was made in China, like the High Kick Girl, there are quite a few of them, and they felt none of them matched to Pooja's skill. That is the main thing. You can check out for yourself, in a sense. So I think a combination of an exotic face which doesn't belong to them, but she is doing something probably better than their actors there at the moment. I think this is the combination which worked.
I have a question for Ramu. Ramu, basically speaking, whether you agree or not, you are a trendsetter in the sense you used to make raw films with newcomers in the lead, and also you were one of the first filmmakers who dubbed films in Tamil, Telugu, and other languages long before the pan-India term was discovered. So how do you feel now that every film made in South is becoming a pan-India film, which is being dubbed in 5, 6, 7 languages?
See, to start with, I think, like typically as Indians, we want to just come up with a term and label. If you remember maybe some 20 years back, when Meera Nair's film became a big hit, Monsoon Wedding, they started calling crossover films. We always want to put a name, So, see, eventually, if Hollywood films are released all over the world, but they don't call it a pan-world film. That's a typical Indian mentality, If you remember, even in the time of when the gentleman, that Prabhudeva film, Hamse Mukabla and all that, whichever is a big film, used to come and run here also in Hindi. So for a short period that happened, maybe 3-4 years or something. There was instances when something like a Hum Aapke Kaun or a Maine Pyar Kiya were dubbed in South, in Telugu and Tamil language, which worked. But what happened recently is the numbers have become so big that they overtook Hindi collections. That is where the shock is. So, like, the satellite market or the so-called Hindi dubbing market, which was always very big for many, many years. But people had this mental block, both in North and South, was sirf satellite mein chalti hai. So they never even bothered to check if it will work, if you release it in the theater. So they thought they're getting a handsome chunk of money, chalo Hindi dubbing mein bhej do. But they got a shock of their life with Pushpas and KGF 2 and RRR and all this. So I think now it is a time, especially because of OTT, any good content can be put anywhere. Because if people are watching Malayalam films on OTT and sitting in Bombay, or Korean films, so the whole world is at your disposal. So then a theatrical release is just about your capacity and your own vision of whether it can do well or not. I think that change has come now, very suddenly, and it took everybody by surprise. A lot of people have this misconception that Bollywood is shocked about this, but actually South is equally shocked. It is not true that only Bollywood, because I think now Kannada industry, for example, we were not aware of its existence. Nobody in Andhra Pradesh sees a Kannada film, AP in Telangana or in Tamil Nadu. And now that became the highest grossing Hindi film. A dubbed Hindi film is highest grosser of Indian cinema, is something which could have never thought of in your life. Yeah.
And one question for Pooja.
Yes, sir.
पूजा आडनाव तुमचं कार्णिक आहे, म्हणजे मराठी तुमचं मदर टंग आहे, पण आता मराठीमध्ये ऑफर मिळाला तर करणार काय?
Naki, sir. Why not? I mean, Marathi is like, I've seen a lot of Marathi films, and I would really love to do it. अगर कोई अच्छी film, अच्छी script हो तो क्यों नहीं?
And what did you like as far as Ramgopal Varma's direction is concerned? Because he has a unique, different directorial style.
I think what he has done with Pooja Karnik's character, it's just gonna stick with me for rest of my life. And Pooja Karnik and Ladki holds a very special place in my heart. So जो Pooja Karnik का character है वो हमेशा मेरे लिए बहुत ही special रहेगा.
रामू सर, आपकी ये फिल्म चीन में भी रिलीज होने वाली है, तो वहाँ की ऑडियंस की पसंद नापसंद को ध्यान में रख के कहानी में कुछ आपने बदलाव या तो कुछ ऐड किया?
No, not
और
at all.
दूसरी बात, क्या गाने भी होंगे वहाँ के वर्जन में?
Yes, they're there. See, पहली बात ये है कि the basic point of the story being, of course, right from the beginning, she wants to improve her training, and she looks for, then she hears of this one grand old master who's expert in Jeet Kundo. That's where the Chinese character came into the film, And then there is a thing, the fact that she's obsessed with Bruce Lee. Her boyfriend takes her to Foshan city as a gift to her. And that's where the highest, highest statue of Bruce Lee is there in the world, like you would have seen in the trailer. So I think the element of she going there to the native place of Bruce Lee as a big emotional high, that is one part. And the fact her teacher is a Chinese grandmaster who teaches her Jeet Kune Do, the Bruce Lee style. These are the two reasons, but they were always there in the script. I didn't make any changes because the Chinese production was involved. Yeah.
Pooja, in real life, did you have a situation where somebody referred to you as Ladki and then you showed them that you are a super girl Ladki? मतलब ऐसा कुछ situation हुआ है आपके real life में?
Almost. I was going somewhere with my mom and एक कोई बंदा आया and he was on the bike. तो उन्होंने कुछ कमेंट किया मेरी मॉम के ऊपर एंड मैं बहुत गुस्सा हो गई एंड आई स्टार्टेड रनिंग बिहाइंड हिम एंड वो बाइक पे थे तो आई ऑलमोस्ट गॉट हिम एंड देन ही जस्ट स्लिप्ड अवे सो आई विश नॉट विश आई एम हैप्पी कि ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन मेरे ऊपर नहीं आया अभी तक एंड किसी और लड़की के ऊपर भी ना आया आई विश फॉर दैट
रामू सर
Yes.
जहाँ आज इंडस्ट्री में बड़े फिल्मकार नए मतलब बड़े लोगों को लेके फिल्म बनाना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं नामचीन कलाकारों को वहीं आप नए कलाकारों के साथ दाव लगाते हैं ऐसा क्यों?
See, I technically make genre films. I don't make films which have this large base, where with big stars, they have images and they have to cater to a large number of diverse kind of audiences. Right from my first film, I always made, when we take new people, they look believable, they look relatable. So if you take a movie like Satya, you actually believe that they were there in that slum. If you, the moment you take known people, their past films images will come into their characters, and the believability quotient keeps going lesser and lesser. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. That is what many filmmakers believe. But I like to get them immersed in the story and believing the existence of this character in real time. That is where I have a tendency to take new people.
एक क्वेश्चन और सर आप सेक्स और क्राइम से बाहर निकलकर कभी सोशल मुद्दों पर फिल्म क्यों नहीं बनाते?
सेक्स और क्या?
क्राइम
मैं सेक्स पे कहाँ फिल्म बनाए हुए हैं? अब ये बताओ अभी.
मोस्टली फिल्में आपकी सर बहुत
अरे
बोल्ड होती
see,
हैं
the point is beauty and sex are different. Please understand. Maybe you don't like women, I don't know, but I think okay, sir. Now the question is already answered. If everybody clap means they don't have a problem. So you have a problem. Okay. Now coming to the crime part. See, I definitely do not like normal people and normal people's life stories. I want dramatic, I want intensity, I want the darkness, like a horror or a gangster or like you said, a crime drama. I definitely have an affinity for that. But at the same time, I made films like Rangila, which is a love story. I made Daud, which is a caper film, like a light-hearted adventure. And I made Sarkar, which is a political drama, which is not really the gangster thing. So I think I might be the only guy who probably put my finger in every kind of film. It is not like I stuck to one thing.
रामू सर आपकी फिल्म के समंदर भी एक लोकेशन होता है समंदर का एक कैरेक्टर होता है तो समंदर से कोई खास लगाव उसकी कोई वजह
Not on the Samandar, but girls in bikinis in Samandar. I have. So I used to have that right from my college days. I went to Goa for a trip. I think it stuck from there. Who will watch water, sir?
I think both, because in a real life also I'm a very lovey-dovey person. I believe in love. I believe in action, so I got to perform both the things. So it was really fun for me to manage that. I was really uncomfortable when I was performing the action because I was trying hard not to injure anybody. Like all the what you say fighters were there, and I was trying not to hit them very hard. So that was the only difficult part was there. Romance was easy and action was much more easy than anything else.
See, I remember Amitabh Bachchan told one in one interview, I was also there, he said, whatever people when they say that we are not getting the opportunity, I think he said something like, you can't really put a good man down, you know. So the whole point is, I think, if I've been a filmmaker for an X amount of time, I was also nobody when I first started. So I think the responsibility is on me to convince somebody that my content is worth putting, because a film is a very expensive business to make it, to release it, and there are different people. Theater का एक अलग perspective होता है, distributors का अलग होता है, investors का अलग होता है, actors का, everyone has their own interests. So I think like water finds its own balance, you know. So eventually, in a competitive world, agar 1,000 people try, probably one person will make it, you know. But the 999 people not making it, that is their fate. I'm not saying that. But I think when you're venturing into that kind of a business, you have to, be prepared to take that kind of a backlash, you know. But every once in a while, you always have seen like some film comes who's not backed by anybody big, any big camp or whatever those things are called. The big lesson for everyone is Kashmiri Files, for example. You know, a film of that budget and without any big names backing it, if it has done that, that itself is proving your point wrong. Because okay, it happens very less number of times. I'm not saying no to that, but I think it's a function of how the business aspect of the industry functions. Yeah.
Hello.
हॅलो पूजा
Hi.
दिस इज प्रवीणा फ्रॉम नवराष्ट्र मीडिया
Hi, Pravina.
तू खूप सुंदर दिसतेस. पहिले तर तुला सांगणार आहे मी,
Thank you.
तू या मूवीमध्ये बोल्ड आणि ब्युटिफुल कॅरेक्टर प्ले केलेला आहेस. म्हणजे तू प्रूव्ह केलं की मुलींचे हात फक्त बांगड्या घालण्यासाठी नाही, वेळ आली तर त्याचा वापर मारण्यासाठी पण होऊ शकतो.
नक्की.
सो मला सांग की बिंग अ वुमन व्हॉट इज द बिगेस्ट स्ट्रेंथ, तू काय शिकलेस या मूवीमधून?
माझं जे कॅरेक्टर आहे या फिल्ममध्ये पूजा कार्णिकचं, ते खूप स्ट्रॉंग आणि खूप पॉवरफुल. आय मीन शी नोज वॉट शी इज डुईंग. शी नोज वॉट यू नो वॉट डिसीजन इज टू बी मेड. तो फिल्म में जैसे दिखाया गया है, सॉरी इफ यू वॉन्ट मी टू आन्सर इन मराठी आय विल डू दॅट. तर मूवीमध्ये पण जे माझं कॅरेक्टर आहे ते खूप स्ट्रॉंग दाखवलं आहे. आणि कुठेतरी असं माझी अशी इच्छा आहे की जे मूवीमध्ये मी पोर्ट्रे केलं आहे तेच मी कॅरी ऑन करू शकते की नाही इन माय लाईफ. तर तोच माझा प्रयत्न आहे. आणि माझी इच्छा आहे की पूजा कार्णिक नेहमी माझ्यामध्ये असावी. जे पण मी डिसिजन घेते लाईफमध्ये, जे काही यू नो आय एम ट्राईंग टू परफॉर्म एनिथिंग, सो आय वॉन्ट टू कॅरी ऑन दॅट कॅरेक्टर forward in my life.
Hi, this is Sohail here. On your right, Ramuji. Yeah. The first one. Yeah, hi. Congratulations. Just needed to know कि you know there are lots of people who say कि Ramgopal Varma का charm अभी नहीं रहा, the way it used to be, and now he's become little sunky also, like you know ऐसे हाँ sunky हो गए actually. और तो how do you take this thing, and आप इसके बारे में क्या कहना चाहोगे?
In this particular interview, did you ever hear anything me saying Sanki something? So that, okay. So which
I'm
means,
just talking in
no,
general.
I understand. That's okay, yeah. So see, I have a very strong opinions on things, and I use my Twitter to say anything what I feel. And that is the whole point of having a Twitter. If you don't say that, why have it? See, if I am talking to someone in person and if I'm talking to my followers, that's an internal communication between us. And if anyone thinks I'm sunky, he can unfollow. He doesn't need to bear with me. So as long as we have that freedom, yeah, that is one point. So with regard to what, everyone has an opinion on everyone. So the point is, I don't have time to think about people who have the time to think about me. Yeah.
But you are not taking lots of pangas, like, previously you never used to be that
I
way.
never take
I mean to
panga.
say,
Even
बहुत,
now.
industry में बहुत सारे लोगों से आप पंगा ले रहे हो आप, actually, ऐसा हो गया है.
So
Comment करते हो
tell me a single thing. Give me one single example. I express my opinion of something happening on the public domain,
Correct. Yeah,
not on a person.
Yeah, that's your total.
And I never did took a panga with anyone. Yeah.
राहु जी इसको ऐसे भी कहा जा सकता है राहु जी इसको ऐसे भी कह सकते हैं क्योंकि आपकी जो शुरुआती फिल्में रही हैं आपकी फिल्में देख के हमने आपको बहुत प्यार किया और जब किसी को बहुत प्यार
कब से नफरत करना शुरू किया? Okay, fine. Okay.
हमने आपको बहुत प्यार किया और फिर जब प्यार किसी से हो जाता है तो उसका अगर कोई कम हो जाए काम या
Yeah.
क्योंकि उम्मीद बढ़ जाती है तो फिर हमें कम लगने लगता है तो इसको इस तरीके से देख सकते हैं कि पिछले एक दशक से जिस तरीके का आपका नाम रहा है आपकी फिल्मों की जो छोटे छोटे शहरों में चर्चा होती थी आपके नाम पे फिल्म देखने जाते थे वो कहीं ना कहीं धूमिल होता गया क्या इससे रामगोपाल वर्मा एज अ ब्रांड भी कहीं धूमिल में आपको लगता है बॉलीवुड में आपकी फिल्में पैसा कमा लेती हैं आपने बताया था बात में
But I'm not very sure. See, you are giving an opinion of what people are saying. So what do you want me to say about that? My reaction on that? No, that I understood. So I'm saying you want me to give my analysis of that. Yeah. See, the point is I always maintain, see, after whether I make a horror film, then after Satya became a blockbuster, I did a film called Kaun, which is shot in 15 days. I always kept jumping from film to film, which all of them worked for the budget I made. I never ever said I want to make a big film and the commercial blockbusters and all that. So that is not in the space I am. So after that, before that, when the social media was not there, so active, so they took it the way it is. Now the social media, everybody has a mouth and everybody says, "Arey ye kya ho gaya? Isko ye sanki ho gaya? Ya aisa film क्यों बना रहा है? ये तो अभी sex और crime बना रहे जैसे आपने कहा." So all this is happening on a resound because of the social media is what I feel. Yeah.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है सर जब आप इस फिल्म के लिए काम कर रहे थे स्क्रिप्ट बना रहे थे या फिल्म को कर रहे थे तो जिस तरीके से अभी OTT भी प्लेटफॉर्म काफ़ी हावी हो चुका है बॉलीवुड पर तो आपने कभी सोचा था कि लड़की का मैं OTT बनाऊँ ना एक बॉलीवुड मूवी बनाकर
See, point here, OTT is just one more device. See, there is no such thing as OTT and theatre. Theatre का function है इसलिए कि because the rentals of theatres and publicity aspect एक ज़्यादा होगा. Other than that, I don't see, because whether you want to release on OTT or this or satellite or some other way, I think it is decision of the makers. आज की डेट आप बहुत सारे टाइम आप ये भी देख रहे हैं कि all of them can happen at the same time or some in a staggered release it can happen. So I don't, आज के डेट में मेरे ख्याल से OTT और थिएटर का कुछ absolutely there is no difference.
रामू जी, this film is an Indo-Chinese production, तो हम जहाँ पर चाइनीज़ को बैन करने की बात कर रहे हैं वहाँ पर आप चाइनीज़ के साथ कोलैबोरेशन और चाइनीज़ लेकर आ रहे हो तो इस पर पब्लिक की क्या प्रतिक्रिया रहेगी इन फैक्ट?
See, the point is एक political aspect होती है. Politically, what the two governments are feeling is different, and cinema is about art. Martial arts is an art. Bruce Lee is someone who's loved all over the world. Now, just because there's a temporary, sometimes a problem happens, because even those problems you don't know. एक दिन होते अगले हफ्ते निकल जाते फिर वापस आते. That is how it happens. They sound more like squabbles to me. But when we are not making a political statement in the film, then I think problems with the country should not affect what is not related to it.
But revenue system works on that thing, na? Matlab, when it's an Indo-Chinese production.
No, revenue
so-
system works based on the principles of China, what they do there. I mean, in terms of the kind of system, what they operate, which obviously we have to go by the law of the land, and the same thing here.
Okay.
Thank
you so much. Can we have some pictures, photo ops? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chairs हटा देंगे please.